Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Lemus. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Voters will be making their way back to the polls for the runoff election. Also tonight, two males appear in court for a bail hearing. And November is Veterans Month. In sports, runners are introduced to a new running event that definitely won't be the last. Stay with us, we have these stories and more next.
First of all, I want to thank you for this assistance, and I commend the administration for having this program to help small businesses. We have a 16-room small motel in Garapan here on Saipan, and we established it 2 years ago. I think this grant will help small business owners like myself, especially locals. That you don't have to go to a private institution to borrow for money for startup. And I'd like to extend my appreciation to Bank of Saipan as well, on top of giving appreciation to the Boost Administrator and the Governor's Office.
Brought to you by the Office of the Governor.
Enjoy the deliciously saucy McRib. Only for a limited time and only at McDonald's.
The legendary McRib is back. Pair it with fries and a drink for a limited time.
Half a day to the Wami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, November 14, 2022. The general election is over, filling seats in the Sinamay Senate, House, Court, Municipal Council, and Board of Education. But the top seats remain vacant as we head into a runoff election set for the day after Thanksgiving. The November election is not over just yet. Governor Ralph Torres will be going against his former partner, Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios, in the runoff election, set for November 25, the day after Thanksgiving. Palacios, running with Saipan Mayor David Apatang, will be number 1 on the ballot, while Torres, running with Senator Vinny Sablon, will be number 2. The Commonwealth Election Commission Board met on Friday to discuss details of the runoff election. Early voting will begin this Friday, November 18 at the Multipurpose Center, ending on Thanksgiving Day, November 24. And on the runoff election day, the polling sites for each precinct will remain the same. Voters who requested an absentee ballot in the general election will automatically receive a runoff absentee ballot set to be sent out by tomorrow, November 15. Voters who didn't make it to the polls on November 8 are still allowed to vote in this runoff election, but they must make sure that they voted in the 2020 election. For more information, you can call the CEC office at 670-235-VOTE. Over in court, 2 bail hearings are held in the courtroom of Judge Joseph Camacho. Let's take a look. 40-year-old Willie Carnell Frink appeared in Superior Court this morning, facing the charge of sexual assault in the first degree. Bail is set at $50,000. According to court documents, one of the crew members of the USNS Bobo ship was allegedly sexually assaulted by Frink. Frink is a supervisor at the steward department on the ship. Police spoke with the female victim, who says they went out for a swim and some drinks. After some time, the victim began to feel dizzy, nauseous, and shaky. The two left and transferred to a hotel in Garapan, where the victim threw up and sat on the bed. The victim says Frink offered to massage her until he started taking off her clothes. The victim told Frink that she couldn't do this and reminded him that she was in a relationship with someone else. The victim then began to black out. The victim is accusing Frink of having sexual intercourse with her without her consent. Frink is remanded back to the Department of Corrections and is ordered to return to court for a preliminary hearing set for November 23. In the second bail hearing, 19-year-old Tineth Santos Marier is charged with burglary, disturbing the peace, and criminal trespass. According to court documents, a female called for police assistance after she was woken up in her home by someone pulling off her blanket. The victim identified that person as Marier. She says she left her house door unlocked for her boyfriend and fell asleep waiting for him. At around 3 in the morning, she heard movement inside her house, and later her blanket was being pulled off her. She told Marier to go home and then called for police assistance. Bail is set at $5,000. Mario is remanded back to the Department of Corrections. The Division of Revenue and Taxation would like to remind the general public that the local stimulus cards will be expiring soon. The local economic impact payment number 2, better known as the second local stimulus card, will expire on December 31, 2022. The cards will be deactivated and the funds deposited in the account will no longer be available by January 1st, 2023. DRT encourages taxpayers to spend the remaining funds within the allowable time frame. To report a lost or stolen card, you can call 670-664-1040 for assistance. Staff will be able to suspend the account and replace the card. A valid photo ID and Social Security card will be required. Taxpayers who have yet to receive their second stimulus card are encouraged to file a 2021 tax return or call their office to resolve any issues. DRT continues to process new cards and card balance adjustments. Wheels up! Tonight, we head to Japan's third largest city for a look at some of the most amazing fish in the world. These are not for consumption, just a feast for the eyes. Our Chris Nelson reports.
With new air service linking the Marianas and Japan, crisp fall weather is just 3 hours away. And with $1 that you can trade for close to 150 yen, that's about 30% more buying power than just a few months ago. United's flying 3 times a week to Tokyo International from Saipan. The flights leave on Fridays, Mondays, and Wednesday mornings, and the flights are subsidized in part to restart Japanese tourism. But with a strong dollar and Japanese still hesitant to travel post-pandemic, The flights have had low load factors. But tourism can work both ways, and with more buying power in Japan opening up, this is a great time for our island residents to head to the land of the rising sun. Osaka sits near the water a bit south of Tokyo. It's Japan's third largest city after Tokyo and Yokohama. One of the top attractions is the Osaka Aquarium, known locally as Kaiyukan. Penguin suits aren't required to get in, but they are welcome out front. The aquarium rightly sits just next to the water. You can go during the day, or you can go in the evening where the lights are dimmed and the fish behavior is a bit different. A tunnel welcomes you, and the background music gives the fish something to shake their tails to. We start at sea level and head up with nice views of the sea and the bridge. Meter markers let you know how far you have to go. 777 seems like a lucky number. These little guys are from the Aleutian Islands up near the Bering Strait, and it looks as if their caretaker has put some Red Bull in their diet. Red Bull gives you wings. These guys are like hummingbirds on 3 espressos. These seals know how to kick back and relax, and in the water they are smooth. There are freshwater fish, freshwater turtles. The penguin exhibit is one of the most popular, and you can see why. You can see them above and below the water. Dolphins, too. There are longfish and fat fish. The main attraction has some big daddies inside. Kujira means whale, and same means shark, so maybe you call them Kujira same? Probably there's a special word for it, but I'm going with Kujira same. Sounds cool, right? Whale sharks in English. If you know this is a hammerhead, you nailed it. There are rays and sunfish. The path winds from up to down, so as you work your way down the aquarium, you can see the sea creatures from all sorts of angles. Being a penguin would be a cool life. I love this shot here, and you get a scene like this and you just stop talking, you sit down and watch. Nice background music, scenery is just unbelievable. And these are Hokkaido crabs. Kaiyukan uses acrylic glass for the Pacific Ocean exhibit, and it's 30 centimeters thick. The acrylic collectively weighs over 600,000 pounds. That's 1.5 times more than the world annual output. The aquarium is 9 meters deep and contains 5,400 tons of water. This is the lion mane jellyfish. Osaka Aquarium costs 2,400 yen. That's about $16 for entrance. It's well connected by public transportation. And outside, a giant Ferris wheel. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
All right, coming up, what can we learn from veterans? We hear from a son who travels thousands of miles to share what his dad did here during the war. Stay tuned.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
Este na mensaheng politika uonra si Tatao e defunto as Nicolas Torres Sablan. Al mismo tiempo saluda si Ralph Torres dan si Vinnie Sablan como candidato ni Republican para el gobierno del segundong gobierno. Bajo si David Castro Sablan Presidente San Vicente Saipan, retirado. Ututuliste na oportunidad para bay usodjo iman retirado na ciudadano Norte Marianas sa ni familia ni Hasia para tanagwaha ang seguridad na ifengkas para iman retirado suficiente para hita. Si Raf giman malofan siya na tempo, vera di nanay kabalis apas retirado, ihid bonus afanyetlus, bonus. Pues por favor, dalagju zata protehi interesta como man retirado. Tatijizu zata bota si Tolis Sablan, por favor. Sin más, si Dios más.
Viva Tolis Sablan for our future.
First of all, I want to thank you for this assistance, and I commend the administration for having this program to help small businesses. We have a 16-room small motel in Garapan here on Saipan, and we established it 2 years ago. I think this grant will help small business owners like myself, especially locals, that you don't have to go to a private institution to borrow for money for startup. And I'd like to extend my appreciation to Bank of Saipan as well, on top of giving appreciation to the booth administrator and the governor's office.
Brought to you by the Office of the Governor.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The month of November is dedicated to veterans, their families, and their sacrifice. The tribute to our veterans is reaching many people in our community. The acknowledgement is expanding and the respect is genuine. In honor of CNMI veterans, the Saipan Chamber of Commerce and the Micronesia Islands Nature Alliance plant 2 trees just outside the Veterans Cemetery.
To plant 2 flame trees that we hope will become legacy trees, right? Something that looks like this in the future, that people can come and remember and admire and sit under its shade and appreciate its beauty, and then also the benefits that it has to the environment.
Governor Ralph Torres, along with several servicemen, joined MENA and Veterans Affairs Director Marie Igato in planting the trees.
One is to commemorate and remember our fallen heroes, our fallen veterans that are laid here. And the other one, as you enter, is those veterans that are still alive. So it goes both, right? Appreciating those that are still here, and then also appreciating and giving respect to those that have left.
Joseph Nakaifis from MENA says their commitment will be to take care of the trees.
We are committed to their survival as long as it takes. We're going to water them. We put up temporary tree guards, but we'll have something permanent in the future. To us, it's something to remember, something to honor. We want to do more for our veterans, and by doing that, we're planting trees so that future generations can come here and appreciate. We can put down. We're going to have plaques in the future to put on the trees.
The month of November has also been proclaimed as Veterans and Military Families Month.
What does Veterans Day mean to you personally?
Enjoying our freedom. Something that we all take for granted every day. The air we breathe, the people we associate with, the food we eat. And just that freedom itself is something that we will not be enjoying without the sacrifices of all of our veterans and even those that continue to serve today. And that's why this proclamation is meaningful, because I believe each and every one of us have a duty to appreciate and give thanks to all of our veterans.
And as we honor those who fought for our freedom, we bring you this special story about a son who traveled miles and miles away just to retrieve his father's World War II dog tag here on Saipan. It was a special moment for Jack Deeds as he arrived on Saipan and was instantly given his father's lost dog tag, from the war fought here on this very land.
This is your dad's new ID tag. They call it. Yeah, this is your dad. This is your dad, Donald A.D.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. He was wounded here, guarding one of the airplanes. A Japanese bomber had blew up a plane that he was next to. He was guarding a plane, and the next plane over blew up and blew a bunch of shrapnel and cut him up, and he ended up in a hospital, and I guess he lost his dog tag.
Military veteran Fabian Indeleshu found the dog tag about 10 years ago around the Canatabla quarry area and then searched for its owner. Indeleshu was able to track down the owner, the late Staff Sergeant Donald Deeds, who passed away 5 years ago. Indeleshu was able to converse with him, share stories, and learn more about the history of Saipan. Indeleshu has been inviting their family to come visit, but only Jack was able to make the trip. Jack shares his father's story, who was an engine specialist with the U.S. Army Corps 887 Squadron. He was the youngest in his group, but he says his dad fought hard.
You know, it's interesting. Every son of age would go off to fight the battle, either in Germany or in the Pacific. So literally, there was nobody left behind. Everybody wanted to do it, and every son left the house, whether they were, 16, 17, 21 years old. Literally, every child left their home, and they came here, and they went to other places, and they fought for the country.
The late Donald told stories about his time here on Saipan, which will live forever in the hearts of his children.
What does that mean to you, coming here, to the place where your dad served, and a special day is coming up, to honor those who serve? What does that mean to you?
Oh, everything, Yeah. Dad flew a flag out front of the house his whole life, and his country meant everything to him. And so, and to all of my uncles, everybody fought in the service, and that's just how I grew up. And Dad had 7 kids, and he worked for United. He didn't have a lot of money, so he treated us sort of like soldiers or something. I mean, we grew up the old-fashioned way, and sort of as if we were in the military ourselves. So, Dad was just a really good soul, nicest guy you ever want to meet. But he was a soldier, and so I guess you know what that means. There's a lot of discipline, but love of country, and hard work, and be fair and honest and good to people. And anyway, he loved his country, and I think he loved the people who lived here.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We have sports up next.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
It's okay to take a friend or parent's medication. It came from a doctor, right?
Using someone's prescription is really risky. Taking any drugs for which you have not been medically screened is not only dangerous, but taking an opioid that was not prescribed for you is also illegal. Never borrow and never share prescribed medication. Your life and your loved one's life could depend on it. Talk to your doctor about prescribed opioids. Never mix with alcohol, and remember, never borrow, never share. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
First of all, I want to thank you for this assistance, and I commend the administration for having this program to help small businesses. We have a 16-room small motel in Garapan here on Saipan, and we established it 2 years ago. I think this grant will help small business owners like myself, especially locals, that you don't have to go to a private institution to borrow for money for startup. And I'd like to extend my appreciation to Bank of Saipan as well, on top of giving appreciation to the booth administrator and the governor's office.
Brought to you by the Office of the Governor.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
And for our KSPN Sports Report, Run Saipan hosts its first airport trail run over the weekend. Let's check it out. Runners flocked to Dandan early Saturday morning for the first Saipan International Airport 5K and 8K trail run, hosted by no other than Run Saipan. This inaugural event is also known as the first NMI Open and Masters Cross Country Championships. In the 8K Open category, Paul Tim ruled the men's division by crossing the finish line first at 36 minutes and 39 seconds. Tim is visiting from Wisconsin. He is the college roommate of Keith Katola, who also won first place during the first 1 mile road race earlier this year.
Oh, it was a blast. I was a little worried when it was getting to 6 o'clock. It was still dark, it was rainy. I was thinking I would for sure get lost. But then, the sun came out and I had some strong guys to run with in the beginning. So it was really fun.
Second place is Daniel Lee with a time of 37 minutes and 11 seconds. 36 seconds later, Sildri Valoria crossed the finish line for third place. Meanwhile, Denise Myers tops the women's open division. She finishes the 8-kilometer race in 37 minutes and 23 seconds. The 2022 Oceania Cross Country Championship silver medalists enjoyed the beauty surrounding the course.
It was great. Following the finish line is really fun. You get to see where you're going and kind of tell where you're at, right? So it's fun because it's not a turnaround. We don't have to look at the same things over and over again. But it's also easy to tell where we're at, right? Because you know where the corners are of the airport.
CPA Chairwoman Kimberly King Hines finished second place. Her time, 40 minutes and 41 seconds. And third place, Rosemary Chisato with a time of 43 minutes.
Our gold medalist, our first ever NMI Cross Country Champion Open Gold Medalist is Denise Myers.
Run Saipan President Edward De La Cruz.
Update CNMI. So right now today we hosted the very first ever Saipan International Airport 8K and 5K trail race. What made this event even more special was that this was the first time that NMA and Run Saipan ever hosted an adult level cross-country championship. So this was the inaugural race. So thank you to Commonwealth Sports Authority for providing the venue. So we focused on open division, which is up to 34 years of age. And then we also focused on the Masters division, which is the first time we've ever done it. So we got to recognize our senior and elderly runners too by multiple age divisions. Everyone did an outstanding job today.
De La Cruz would like to express his gratitude and appreciation to their sponsors, volunteers, and of course, the participants.
We thank all the companies and sponsors that was able to come make this event possible. Thank you to Commonwealth Sports Authority. Thank you to Saipan International School. Thank you to our partner in this, Northern Mass Athletics. Thank you to the airport companies that provided the amazing raffle prizes. So a good way to give back to the community was we gave an option to all the airport companies here to provide raffle prizes, and the ones that wanted to provide raffle prizes didn't hesitate to give their all for our community. So thank you to Micronesian Air Cargo for giving discount vouchers. We also like to thank Triple J for giving amazing discount and gift certificates. I'd like to thank Star Marianas Air for providing 2 free round-trip tickets for our participants. And last but not least, thank you to Amazing Skydive Company. They provided a $500+ value raffle prize where the people can jump at 14,000 feet and get videotape footage for free. Because of the teamwork between these companies, especially with Commonwealth Sports Authority and Northern Mass Athletics, this was an amazing and successful event.
Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
And for your KSPN weather report, mostly sunny with isolated showers, east wind around 8 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers, east-northeast wind 6 to 8 miles per hour. High 86, a low 76, to humidity 80%. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with isolated showers, east-northeast wind 8 to 14 miles per hour. High 86, low 78. The marine forecast, general trade winds are expected through tonight, increasing to moderate on Tuesday and fresh on Wednesday. East wind 5 to 10 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less. Northeast swell 4 to 6 feet. The sunrise will be at 6:18 a.m. High tide 9:53 p.m. Low tide 6:30 p.m. and the sunset 5:44 p.m. And there you have it. That is your Monday edition of the news, sports, and weather. Thank you so much for watching the Channel 2 News. We hope you have a great night, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday with more.